Hello again. This is What the Story Say with Dr. Pauline Beard from the village of Buxton. I'm a cultural bearer who tells the story of our people. I tell these stories so we can learn from them. From my village to your village, I'm concerned about how women's stories transform our oral histories. All right. So far, I've been telling stories about women from the village of Buxton. I began with my own auntie, and I'm at Clarabelle Adams, telling the stories about ambition and grit, multi-generational stories. They have a lot to show of how African Guyanese have come from their status to where we are today. And maybe that can inform, or definitely inform, how we are and continue to be in the world, and what kinds of stories we tell our children. So let's get into it. I'm still at Clarabelle Adams because there's a lot to unpack here. I remember when I got these stories from Cheryl, I was in her bedroom. You know, we're doing research, and sometimes you don't get to hear how research is done. So I was at her home in New York, and I was asking her for stories, and then we got into the bedroom, and we sit down on the bed. Now you got friends who they get back step friends and front step friends and acquaintances, but Cheryl and I got to talking in the living room doing the interview, and then we end up in the bedroom, sitting on the bed telling the story. So I want you to get the context and the scenario for these stories, how you grow so big and how you just tell the story, because I'm all about the methodologies. How do we get these stories and how we are using these stories for our, benefit. Okay, so Cheryl tells us about this day. So Cheryl used to go and spend time at the grandmother, Mother Adams. So this time she went to Mother Adams, and Mother Adams cook, and she dish out. When she dish out, and Cheryl take one look at the food, she said, "Mother, I don't eat that." Well, why is it she don't eat? Mother Adams cook Corilla. For those of you who know what Corilla is sometimes called bitter gourd, or it called Goya. In Japan they call it Goya. That bumpy thing, yes, it's bitter for true. So, but if you cook it and you get used to it, it's an acquired taste, I think. But as a child, she couldn't eat it, and maybe with good reason, because sometimes children's taste buds aren't developed to eat certain kinds of foods, like eggplant and these type of things. They give us too early, and our taste buds aren't developed, so we can't eat them really. But so Cheryl said, "Mother, I don't eat that." Mother said, "You don't eat that? That is what I cook, and that is what I got to eat." So she just dismissed her grandmother, went outside and played she belly full. Hunger strike she, man. When she go back in the afternoon, it's the same food there. So when the Papa Adams come the night time, you sneak she something under the table, for she eat, because Mother Adams and give she nothing to eat. Not one thing to eat. So she get she dinner. Of course she can get she dinner, but she ain't getting no lunch. So she really hungry. She had breakfast, she didn't get lunch, and dinner, Papa Adams got to get she a little more, she full up. Next day, she had she breakfast, time for lunch. When she applied to the kitchen table, she opened the food, Corilla. She said, "Mother, I tell you, I don't eat that." Mother said, "Girl, that's what I cook, and that's what I got to eat." She now determined, so the battle of the brains, battle of the minds and the wills. She refused to eat the food. So she play she belly full, she come in, she hungry. It's same Corilla. So she got to eat dinner. When Papa Adams come, he give she some eating under the table, along with she dinner, so she can be full. Let me tell you, the next day was more Corilla, and the next day Corilla. It was Corilla, pan Corilla, every day Corilla. So the Friday now, when the Corilla turned up at the table, she decided to eat it. And she ate the Corilla. Cheryl said to this day, Corilla is her favorite dish. Mother Adams kept giving her this Corilla until she ate this Corilla. Some people say that is cruel and unusual punishment. Give the child what she can eat. But you see, a village, people just can't always afford to give the child what the child wants. They got to give the child what they have. And sometimes they say, "Now hang your hat where your hand can't reach." It instills grit in young people. And it also kind of teaches her how to respect the resources that the grandmother had to give her. Remember this lady, work on sugar estate, Clarabelle couldn't go tell she mother, because Clarabelle mother closer to slavery, can't go tell she mother that she not eat and she not eat that. You have to eat what you get because the circumstances were such. Nowadays, people are exposed to a variety of things and you have choices, and some parents consider their children's interests and their palates before they cook. Ask the children, what would you like to eat, and that kind of stuff. Well, that don't always work a village, and in this case Clarabella was not having it. So Cheryl learned to eat what her grandmother gave her and to try it. You see, the thing is, I remember just in 2019, my family and I were in Taiwan. So my sister's daughter came to Taiwan all the way from the Caribbean, and we had a vacation in Asia. But before I got there, because we work on Christmas Day, so I had to work Christmas Day and fly out to meet them. So they got to Taiwan before me, all the nieces and nephews, and so they were there. And my sister and I would have gone later. So we went later, and before I got there, I got the news that this niece is very finicky in her eating. She wants to eat McDonald's and she wants to eat fast food and she doesn't want to try different things. I said, that's okay. And I got there. When I got there, I like to eat street food. I'm the girl who's either you find me in the bookstore or you find me at the road. I like to go and eat street food and market food and explore markets and so on. So I got this street food like boiled peanuts and some different things, and even things I don't even recognize, but they look like things I could eat, so I want to try it. So I got some and I was sharing to them. I said, would you like some? And they're like, no, auntie, I don't want it. I said, why you don't want it? I don't like it. I said, how do you know you don't like it? Well, I just know. I said, you don't just know. You got to try, at least this is not going to kill you. Not everything you should try. You can learn from other people. But this is an experience. I had to tell her, traveling abroad is an experience. That's what we're purchasing here. And so you don't shut doors like that. You're judicious in what you experience. So I wanted her to be a little bit more non-selective of her palate, to try different things and to know that she doesn't like it. And so we tried these nuts. They were peanuts, but they just cooked very differently. And she tried them and she said, this tastes good. And so we ate that whole thing that time. We would go to Vietnamese restaurant, we tried different things, different kinds of vegetables, prepared different kinds of ways, sometimes Thai food and different things like that. That's what I mean by the experience. And she couldn't appreciate it then, but I heard later on she was saying that she really appreciated it because she was glad that auntie made her eat these things, because now she realized, you've gone abroad, what have you learned? The poem says, or the nursery rhyme said, pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I've been to London to visit the Queen. Pussycat, pussycat, what did you there? I frightened the little mouse under the chair. That's all you're gonna see? The mouse? You don't see the changing of the guard, you don't see the queen, you see nothing. You only see the mouse under the chair. So that's what I was trying to avoid. So Cheryl's grandmother enacted a similar thing. Try before you knock it. And it's a maxim for life. Under certain conditions. Not everything. When it comes to marijuana and drugs and whatever, I would say to young people, don't try that kind of thing. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. You have to be selective of what you try. See what I'm saying? So Cheryl said that that's what she learned, and she experienced that. Now, what can we take from these stories? Oftentimes when we encounter the unfamiliar, it's time to run. But parents and mothers, they're the ones who couch the unfamiliar and introduce us to the unfamiliar. They give us license to try the things under certain circumstances with their guidance. And some grandmothers don't give up. They don't give up because they know that you need that grit for life. There are many things in life that are bitter, very bitter, and we have to endure them. Many things are sour, very sour, and we have to endure them. So I think life in the village, by eating the Corilla, points to a bigger story of how we endure and how we grow. So Cheryl's mother came at the end of the vacation to pick her up. So she said, Mother, how Dana behaved? She behaved herself? She said, And Cheryl blurted out, and Mommy, I just eat Corilla. She said, you just eat Corilla since when you eat Corilla? She said, mother gave me Corilla and I just eat it and I like it. So Shirley turned to mother and said, mother, how you get Dana? That's the way the mother called her Dana. How you get Dana for eat Corilla? She said, That's all she had to say. Because Mother Adams wasn't going to play the games that Shirley want to play. You know, she's going to make her eat it. But that's the story that Cheryl told. So talk about grit. I want to end there on this note with this story about grit. How you grow so big. What are the circumstances that you had to endure to get grit? Because nowadays I find that teaching in schools, young people don't have stick-to-itiveness. They give up just so. Yeah, they just give up. They try to little hard, they give up. They never notice they give up. Yeah, but it takes that enduring mind and that, willingness to explore and to know for yourself what you don't like. So I'm going to end with that. So I walk good. But before you go, I want to let you know the next episode is going to be Dr. Frank Douglas with his book. It's a memoir. And I'm going to have him on. He is a notable Guyanese and he tells his story, a fascinating read. And he'll be on, and all these stories I've just told you will lead into his book. And you will see that will make sense then. So I walk good and talk the story. See you next time. Sundays, tune in on Facebook and YouTube.